Hey everybody, let me know if y'all can hear me before I get started. And let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Somebody say where you at. I know I'm 3 days late. I'm sorry. It wasn't on purpose, y'all. I'm looking at this slow ass chat. Y'all can hear me okay? Somebody tell me something. Yes, that's what them thumbs up mean. Yes. Okay, good. All right, everybody. So y'all funny. Not necessarily you listening to this, but y'all, everybody got all kind of speculations. This thing been up for 3 days, and folks like, oh, Mechee running, she under investigation, they coming for everybody. She was friends with NF. Y'all got all kind of ideas up your sleeve. But I want to say shout out to my true followers. Y'all know that I do this from time to time. So yes, Mechee is going the fuck away. Not like this is new. Sometimes I leave and I don't even say nothing to nobody. Y'all be like, where your ass been? So I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Just here on YouTube though for a moment. You guys are not gonna see me for at least 30 days. I'm gonna be gone at least a month over here. Now you can follow me on Instagram. You can sign up for the email list on my website if you want to. I will be posting things probably on Instagram, but I won't have too many lives over there. If I do, it'll be some, hey, y'all come on. I might be talking to somebody, but I won't be doing too many shows, right? For a little bit. I have a lot that I'm working on, I want to say. And so, I got some things that I have to do. And unlike everybody else, just honestly, you can't do all the work when you're in front of the camera. So I have a lot of stuff that I have to do, right? So I'll be back. And when I come back, I have a whole lot of leveling up that I would have done, and I have a whole lot of things to announce, right? So that's what it is. Also, I want to talk about some things tonight that I have talked about plenty before. But I just want to talk about some of the newer details, right? All those things. That's why the thumbnail is what it is. Everybody swears that we are, conspiracy theorists, but there are some things that I spoke about. If you remember when all of this COVID-19 shit hit, right? And we see it happening now. And people's like, oh, it's not gonna happen. And I was like, oh, it's gonna happen, and we see it happening, right? So I want to talk about some of those things tonight. As far as where we going, I want to talk about also some solutions of what you can do. I'm gonna be real with you, like I always do. And there's some shit you can't do nothing about, right? So do what you can do something about. And in that, what I tell y'all, I take very serious. I'm not just up here like saying this shit for, for views and shit like that. That's why you don't see me all the time. Y'all know I ain't in here for no damn views. So I would tell you this too. I have a family that I have to prepare for what's coming. And so I need to make sure that me and my family good and that we all right when the shit hit the fan. So I'm gonna have to step away and take care of those responsibilities and everything else I have going on. So that's why I just need a moment, y'all. But I hope that y'all will get yourselves together and do what y'all need to do to be as ready as you can for where we going, right? So I'm not gonna cuss nobody out tonight. I ain't gonna be petty. I ain't gonna beef with nobody. I ain't gonna say no smart shit about nobody, right? We just gonna get into the conversation, okay? I do want to say this at the beginning of the video, though. I just want to tell all of you guys, because people come in here and say, where's the sites? If my moderators can please throughout this conversation, like always, if you guys will put the links to the stuff I'm talking about in the chat. So I do want you to know you can go over to, remember these websites, therealmecheex.com, because there's some stuff you're gonna need over there, right? Go to Zyx, the Institute, right? .org. My moderators will put it in there. All of those things are in the description box of this video too, if you're watching it later. Somebody said what I came for the cussing. I ain't say I wasn't gonna cuss. I said I wasn't gonna, it's some stuff I could say about some folks because I've been gone for I ain't been gone for 2 weeks. I just ain't said nothing. And I be watching and some folks be doing some funny shit, but I'm gonna let them live today because we gotta talk about some serious stuff. We don't get sad to be petty. I'm gonna be petty when I come back, y'all. We gonna have a petty welcome back, and I'm gonna talk about all the shit I've seen while I've been gone. So that's what I mean. I wasn't gonna cuss. I like cussing. Cussing is all right. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. So you'll probably get some cussing in here. You just, we ain't gonna be petty tonight and mess with nobody. Cause I could, but I ain't. Okay, we're gonna get to the important stuff. But the description that I said, those links are in the description box. And at the end of this, we're gonna talk about some of the things you need. I'm gonna tell you why you need all of these things, right? Because people say you talk a whole lot, but what you do, right? Right. So we're gonna talk about what it is we need to do. Now, whether you do it or not, that is completely up to you. Ain't got nothing to do with me, right? Once I tell you, once you know better, you do better. That's on you. So anyway, let's get to the conversation. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all hit the thumbs up. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not, because I will be back. So that this video can get shared. Let me say this too. Anybody that wants this video, I never have a problem with y'all taking content of mine and placing it on you're not gonna get no copyright strike from me. I don't care about any of that stuff, right? It's free content. I'm on here. It's not like you taking my private stuff, So feel free. But this video will probably be gone tomorrow morning at the latest. It might be up there by tomorrow night, but this video will be gone. So it would not be up here very long. So if you want it, take it. Okay. With that said, you guys, let's start this conversation. So how many of you guys have heard about the mandate in New York? Now I know a lot of you, I probably have. If you haven't, where you been? Because I don't watch TV and I done heard about it. So how many of you have heard about the mandate? How many of y'all remember when all of this first went down? Everybody was like, "Oh, we were saying they're gonna make you gonna need a vaccination passport." Some people were saying it's gonna be a chip in your hand, it's gonna be on your phone, it's gonna be something through technology, all of that stuff. And I said, you know what? You're gonna need that to go outside, to go anywhere. I told you everybody about to be in their house. Okay, we're gonna connect some dots here tonight. And everybody said, no, they're not going to do that. The government even played with you. Hey, Ramses, the government even played with you a little bit. And they was like, oh, we're not going to require this. We're not going to do that on any government level. We're just going to let personal businesses decide. Dun, dun, dun. Then here comes the damn New York City, right? We here in New York in the state of that. And they're telling you can't go nowhere starting like September 15, 16. I don't know. Don't quote me on the date. Just know it's coming. Okay. And you can't go nowhere. Okay. They say it's the 13th. You cannot go into restaurants. You can't go into entertainment venues. You got what's his name? Don Lemon on TV talking about you shouldn't be able to go in the grocery stores. It's coming. It's coming. You're not going to be able to go anywhere without proving that you have the vaccination. So let's just talk about that for a moment. I want you to know that if you don't live in New York, don't worry. It's coming for you too. Okay. It starts in New York and they're going to start it there and then it's going to be implemented everywhere else. A couple of days ago, the CDC just said that in all pharmacies, you have to wear a mask again, right? And they're suggesting that all places require people to wear masks, okay? I went into CVS one day and they was like, girl, come on in. It's fine. You be in here breathing in the air. And I went in the next day and they was like, girl, you got to put a mask on. I was like, when this shit happened? They said just the other day, right? So that is starting to happen everywhere again as well, okay? So first and foremost, let me say, before you get to the point where you can't go anywhere without a vaccination passport, proof that you have it. Let's just say that without proof of this, you will not be able to go to public places. Okay. Before that hits you, what's probably going to hit everybody first is another lockdown. Yes. And Brown Foxy said it's illegal. It's very unconstitutional. I'm going to say this a couple times in this video, but I might as well say it right now. And I'll say it a couple more times. If there's ever been a time to rebel in this country and not follow what they tell you to do, it would be now. Nothing is ever going to be the same again. Mark my words and play this shit back later. Not to do anything else more than, I guess, to say I told you so. Because if you don't believe me, it's going to be too damn late when it's too damn late. That's probably the realest shit I will say throughout this whole entire video. Okay? So we're probably going back into another lockdown. I would hope that you see it coming. Like, to me, that seems so obvious. That's not something I think that we got to say, oh, they're probably not going to do that. We're going into, what they call cold and flu season, where everybody is catching things and they're going to get sick. And this is where they think the wave is going to start. So see, this is why we got the thing going on in New York, because by September it's going to be implemented. Once it's implemented in one place, it's a lot easier to implement it as a mandate everywhere else. And then you have October and you start coming into the winter anyway in cold and flu season, right? So they're setting it up just in time for that. So we're probably going to go back into lockdown. And God, I don't. All of this connects so much. I guess it doesn't matter what order I talk about it in. So if we're gonna go back into a lockdown, I just want to know how many of y'all ready for that. And when I say ready for that, because you know if you go in your house this time, you will not be coming back out if you don't take that vaccination. The first time was a test. This time you go in your house, you're not coming back out unless you have that vaccination. So y'all ready for that? But let's just say you're not ready for that. Is you just ready for if they said it's 30 days in your house, 60 days, we're gonna go 90 days over the winter time, and then we'll let people out again, but we're gonna do all that. Are you ready? And the reason why I'm gonna ask you if you're ready, because I want to show you some stuff that I see at the store that I've been looking at all week. Because I say it, but sometimes it's better for people to see it with their own eyes, right? Somebody said whoever voted for Biden is your fault. Don't say that to everybody, but it kind of is. Okay, this is not anything to laugh about, y'all, but sometimes y'all gotta laugh in spite of, because this shit make you want to cry. I'm telling you, because I'm gonna tell you something else that's crazy. When the government get to doing what they want to do, I'm gonna tell y'all to go protect yourself and get guns, but you do know that them guns is not to fight the government. They weapons don't care about your guns. They pep laser and them 5G towers to have all them microwave links, just waves lock a motherfucker in. Although you're like, no, that's just towers for the phone, and it's just radiation like the microwave. I know that's exactly what the pep laser is, and they need that strong power to force it against a force field to make motherfuckers not move. Anyway, them guns is for us, baby. They for you, they for me, they to keep everybody off your back so we can kill enough of ourselves off, or they come for the rest of us. I'm just saying. If the shit really hit the fan, like people talk about it, and us conspiracy theorists that we are, your guns ain't nothing for what they got. They don't care about them guns. Them guns is for you to either protect yourself, live as long as you can in defense, or when you can't take it no more, to take your own life. For some of y'all that don't like to be, everybody likes to go in the biblical days. But let me tell you something about Revelations, right? Everybody says, oh, this is Revelations. Everything is happening right now. If your colonizer and your enemy actually rewrote that book, right? And they plagiarized it so that they could tell you whatever they wanted you to think, and they switched the whole story around. Don't you know that they told you about Revelations in the way they did because they knew they was finna cause it? So now everybody's screaming it's the Bible. No, this is white supremacy, because that's who the voice of your white God is. But this is not about religion tonight, right? So if you really want to understand what Revelations is, just look at what the hell is going on. They're just telling you what to come. There's a thing that's in the Bible. What does it tell you? And for y'all to read scriptures, because some of that shit is true. They took some of it in this truth, and then other things they're going to make true because they lied about it, and then they're going to make it come to pass. So you can say, oh, this is God, and they're really playing your God, right? But it says there will come a time that you will look for death, and it will flee from you. Them guns is for you to protect your household as long as you can against each other, and then some of y'all going to use them for yourselves. We're gonna have a real conversation here tonight. Some of y'all might can't handle that, right? And so I know y'all call me conspiracy theories. Y'all could be mad at me. You call me stupid ass, crazy ass bitch. You just trying to make everybody scared. Here you come talking all that bullshit. Shut up, Mechee. You can say what you want. We just gonna keep it real in here tonight, right? So I want to show y'all something though. So this is from my phone, and this is like the fourth store that I've been to, that I've seen this. So it's not just this store, but let me show y'all something. I just recorded for myself. I want y'all to see. See that? Those are the meat shells. No, that's not New York. That's everywhere. Okay. So the people keep on playing. How many of y'all want to attest to the fact that you see this in your hood too? Now, if you drive out to the suburbs, you might be okay right now, y'all. If you go out to some bigger neighborhoods, but I'm not done. That's one of 3 videos I took in the same store. Okay. This store I've gone into probably 5 times in the past 6 weeks, and it has stayed this way. Nothing has changed, and the food has not come back on the shelves. That is meat. Those are the meat shells. And I could have gone further, because I didn't even catch the part of the meat shells that got like the bacon and the lunch meat and the ham and all of that good shit and all of that stuff. That aisle wasn't even shown, but that motherfucker was just as empty as those as well. Okay, but that's only one section. I want to show you something else. So this is the water section. See that little bit of water down there at the end that they showed you? That is the only water that has been in that store in the past 3 weeks, and it's finna be gone in a minute too. And look, ain't no juice neither. Stop playing. Ain't no juice. that's the juice. And oh no, wait a minute, that's the meat. Hold on. This is the only section. Let me go back. Wrong video. Look at this. So it ain't just the meat, ain't the water. Look, I want you to know all the shelves look like this. Look, that's where the orange juice is. It ain't shit right there. You see that? This is not the only store that I've seen like this. So what you gonna do if they tell you we going back into lockdown? See, at least before somebody says, where's this ATL? Yes, this is several places in Georgia, right? So this store is actually one in Jonesboro, but I've been to many stores, right? And they don't have nothing. Your best bet is to find much smaller chains of stores that have stuff and to go out and go to stores that are in suburban areas. Yes, somebody said they're stopping the food truck. So if y'all don't know, they did do that as well. I don't even understand as much gibberish as they give. What was the reason for why it was? But when they had the food, somebody said Sam's is getting thin as well. Oh yes, Sam's Club, Costco, all of that stuff. It's the same thing. So before, when we went into lockdown, right? They told you to go to the store and get shit, and then the shelves start looking like that. I want you to know the shelves look like that, and they ain't even announced the lockdown yet. Some of y'all gonna be asked out, and there ain't gonna be shit on the shelf. Because I want you to know that the shelves with the dry goods on it didn't look much better. Like it's stuff on the shelves in certain sections, but every last aisle had at least a good 1/4 of every aisle that was just empty of nothing, not even on the shelf. And so somebody, let me say this. Somebody said Kroger's looks just fine to me, right? And so there are some people saying, things like, well, my store is all right, or I've been to stores that don't look that way. Okay, let me not be too smart with y'all and have a little bit of, I'm gonna talk with my professional voice. I understand what you're saying, but shut your ass up because we're not talking to you. I'm not telling you every single store look like that. And if you have food in your stores, then go get them. I'm not understanding why people think that because you have a grocery store around you that has food in it, because I can find them too. What I'm telling you is they're dispersed out in different places and it's going to get to another point. Somebody said it's panic buying, but no, it's not. It's not. Food has been in shortage for months now. Has nothing to do with people panic buying. Do you remember when we all got locked in our homes? Everybody started going with the regular status quo. All of the food started coming back into the stores. People were shopping regular. What are people panicking for? They haven't announced anything. And I want you to know, I have been screaming food shortages for months, y'all. This is not new. This shit didn't happen yesterday. So I'm showing y'all, but I'm telling you, where was the panic buying 4 months ago? They've been doing things like destroying crops. Y'all pay attention. They have been paying farmers to destroy their crops. Go and research specific shit. Go look up crops being destroyed. They selling off meat factories. Why you think it's a meat shortage? They stopping trucks with the goods and shit on them. This has been going on for months. Yes, and food prices have gone up, but that's the reason why they have. So the shortage in food has actually been here for a while, and it has nothing to do with panic buying. So what's going to happen when you panic buy? Because the panic ain't set in yet. And if this your first time here when I say something like, and I wanted to marinate, I get quiet for a second. Like, I want you to think about it. That's all I'm saying. So I want to throw that out there in this conversation, but it's so much stuff that connect all of the dots, right? So for everybody that's like, okay, well, you can't go out to the store, you can't go out if this come for everybody, you can't do all of these things, all right, so then what else gonna happen? What else is coming for us, right? How many of you have heard that United Airlines is now requiring that all of their employees be vaccinated? How many of y'all heard that? So now we're getting into jobs forcing people to be vaccinated. And people would say that's not really forced because you could just quit your job. Hmm. You could just quit your job. See, you know what's going to happen right now? It's going to show every person in this country how much you truly depend on the government and how much of a slave we have been to them every single day of our lives. Because they give us our jobs, they feed us, they put roofs over everybody's head, they do all of this shit that they do, and they will tell you this is the land of the free, and you have freedom, and you are not enslaved, and that you can do what you want, but no, you can't. Don't you need to go to work? So if they tell you it's your job or you get this vaccination, aren't they actually forcing you by what I would call duress? See, you know that in like the court of law, there's a defense called duress. Now you can't go murder nobody and use duress, but like you could say I robbed this bank because they had my daughter in the trunk, and I never would have committed this crime if they didn't have me in this position. But this the only reason I did it. Like that's a defense. So you are under duress, and you're gonna have to look at your livelihood. You're gonna have to look at whether you can work or not, or whether you take this shot. This is a forced thing. But it's gonna be forced in so many ways. See, people say I can't quit my job. I know. Can you afford to take the vax though? It's kind of a hard place to be in, and it don't feel very American, do it? But as Black people, we should understand how that feel like a whole lot. Crazy thing is, this is coming for everybody. So hi, white people, if y'all on here. Hi. Hi, Mexicans, immigrants. Hi. And them waivers ain't finna save y'all either, because somebody said their sister got a waiver. You only gonna be able to do that waiver for so long. Your waiver and your religious practices are not gonna outride the fact that they are making people take this to even go outside. If you can't go in a grocery store without taking this vaccination, they don't get no damn about your Jesus. You will not work here anymore in Jesus' name. We think that's not coming. See, if anything, this should show you is that I don't know why we trust in the government, because if you think they're gonna respect your exemption, this is overriding that, because this is a pandemic, y'all. Right? The world is all messed up because of this. We got to get it right. So I don't know why we think that they ain't gonna find a way around not honoring that either. And I guess they say, okay, fine, you cannot take it, but guess what? Check this out. Do you know that all private institutions can have whatever rules they want? So all stores, all airlines, see, the airlines use the airport, but the airlines individually are separate entities. They're not, they're individual private companies. They can require you to do anything. They can say, well, ma'am, you don't have to take the shot, but you can't work here because that's what we require. So you have the right to not take it in Jesus' name. But you also got to pack your stuff and get you from your desk and get the fuck on out of here. I'm serious. So understand that's what's coming right now. You could go and look this up in Forbes. Guess what else I found out? How many of y'all have heard this? So employers are talking about charging you $20 to $50 extra a month out of your check. They're going to start. They said they gave your asses, right? They gave you gift cards. They tried to give you weed. They tried to give you free cheeseburgers. They tried to give you Popeye's chicken meals. They was handing out free booty shorts, and they got juvenile twerking, and it just was not enough. We tried to give y'all stuff, right? This is all a psychological tactic too, right? You can condition somebody when it comes to a discipline, right? A reinforcement tactic. There's reinforcements, right? So in reinforcement, I can give you something good that makes you feel good, or either I can give you something bad that makes you comply. So they've tried all the feel good shit, and you're still not taking the vaccination at the rate that they want you to. So instead of offering you free gift cards now for working at this company, a free turkey at Thanksgiving, and a free, I don't know, a free drink, a margarita at Fridays on a Tuesday. I don't know. But you didn't want to take the good shit. So now they're going to punish you and they're going to try a different way of reinforcement that says, okay, giving you shit didn't work, right? So now we're going to give you a negative reinforcement that if you don't, negative things will come against you. And we'll see if that works better for you. Because this is all how you condition a population. This is how you control people. Like these things are very basic psychology 101 tactics. If you've ever had a psych 101 class and paid attention, or go read a book. So this is what they're doing, right? So now you're gonna have to pay. So you got a job, you have to give up more money if you won't take this shot. And these things are not a joke, y'all. They're not. These things are really happening. So let's talk about this New York thing that's going to eventually affect everybody else, right? So what y'all finna do when they tell you to go in your house and you cannot come back out your house until you have the vaccination? What you gonna do? You about to go in the house. That's what you're gonna do. If the airlines are requiring their staff to be vaccinated, the next step is that you will need to be vaccinated to travel. I told y'all that was coming, and it is coming. You need a passport to get out of the country, and they require certain vaccinations. They're going to make that easy jump to if you're going to travel domestically around this country, you are going to have a vaccination too, because the people on here, it is a private company. If you don't like it, find another airlines, get a private jet, bitch, catch the Greyhound. This is what they're going to tell you. And so this is what they're gonna do. Somebody said airlines ain't got no gas to fly no damn way. Now I heard Spirit was rebooking everybody. They had no pilots, but quiet is kept. I don't really know the reason. Nobody really said why it was. I'm not on a real tip. I wouldn't be surprised if it's because they told their pilots and all their staff that they had to get the vaccination, and people don't. They feel that it's forced, and people don't want to do it. So that may really be the reason, but they just not telling you that. Now, when they tell you to go in your house, you going in your house. And this is only the first step of it. So they're going to put everybody in their house. They're going to tell you if you want to come back out into society, you have to have the vaccination. Now, watch the vaccination go from a vaccination passport to vaccination sensors. They already talked about technology companies doing apps on your phone so that you can pull it up like how kind of like your plane ticket and swipe it, which means businesses will have some type of electronic that can read it. Don't be surprised if you see later on that there are actual systems for restaurants and businesses and grocery stores, kind of like the sensors with the tags that you seal stuff, that instead of somebody standing there all day scanning you, there will actually be these door scanners that will scan you, and there will be something that will say you have it. Who knows? Maybe it's the fucking chip they put in your little magnetic arm. I don't goddamn know. But watch that shit read you. And when you walk through the door, it's going to be red. Now, when y'all see this shit, y'all remember, I'm not crazy, okay? Y'all just remember that. And it's going to turn green if you good and you can keep walking through. If it turn red, they're going to stop your ass like you stole something, but you ain't even gotten the store yet. Mark my words. Because this is where we're going. You know what I think is real crazy? Like the flu used to kill all kind of people. We've gone through this before and people build up an immunity. Why is this time so different? Like, have you ever seen any type of a sickness or a pandemic like this that had to do with all of these viruses ever cause society to be so greatly changed? Like this shit don't actually go back to some normalcy on its own. Well, it will go back to normalcy on its own. People will build an immunity if your country would stop fucking giving you different variations when they gave you the COVID in the first goddamn place, and then they turned the fuck around, told everybody to get vaccinated. So for all of y'all that's in the chat, not to make you feel bad, because I understand you get played, you get swayed when it comes to the government. You don't know what's right. You don't know what you should or you shouldn't do. We've trusted them so long to take vaccinations that we think it must be okay because the government said that it was okay. So I get it. But if you took the vaccination and you ain't died yet, you should be happy that you don't have blood clots. You should be glad that you do not. that you have not died. You should be glad that you have not contracted corona, because there's a large number, according to your own news, they keep telling you 1,000 new cases are coming every hour, that majority of you getting the vaccination are actually contracting corona within 2 weeks after. So if it ain't been 2 weeks, don't get too happy just yet. Because you know how many people I know that have that, just like when COVID first hit, there were so many people that I knew that was like, my family members is dying left and right from this. You know how many people I know now that say my family members got the vaccination and they got blood clots. They don't have a clean bill of health. They on heart medication now. Teenagers have had heart attacks and died. Did you hear when the CDC told your ass, if you took the vaccination, you probably shouldn't get on a plane. You shouldn't fly because you're more apt to have blood clots. When you fly, it makes it even worse. Y'all be missing all of that, huh? So no knock to you, but you actually the reason that we have a second wave. They used you. Now, ain't nobody mad at y'all, because that's what they do. They take unwilling participants and do all kind of stuff to them to use them in ways that you don't know that you're being used. See, because the fact of the matter is that your body don't work that way. So what that means is this thing that came into our country and around the world last year, over a year ago, by now, all the people it was going to kill, it would have killed. All the people that was going to catch it and survive would have survived. All the people whose immune system was so strong that they weren't even affected by it would still be standing strong. We would have what's called natural motherfucking immunity to that shit right now. But when you introduce a new strand, let's just give people a vaccination. You do know when you get a vaccination, it's part of the very thing they're trying to get you not to have. They're shooting a small amount of it into you so that your immune system can recognize it and build something against it and fight it off, right? And some people are gonna say I'm wrong about that, but it's called shedding. That's on the news too. Y'all believe the other shit the other way. Go listen to that news. Go look at the doctors and the shedding of like you giving off what you got in the vaccination. You giving off that shit like it's a goddamn virus in itself. This is why doctors, go look this shit up. See, don't be scared of the knowledge that's out there. Go and get it, because all this stuff I'm saying does exist. Google that shit. Then come back and tell me how wrong I am. And don't deny the truth just because you're in that position. Because if you got the vaccination, y'all should do us all a favor and put your motherfucking mask on. I'm just saying. There are doctors that have fired his staff because he had an OBGYN practice, and then women was taking care of his pregnant clients, and his clients were having miscarriages due to the spreading of the Delta variant and the shedding that was coming off those of you that are vaccinated. So please stop. If you got your shot and you can still contract corona and people end up with the virus within a couple of weeks and they're sick too, that means now you have corona and you're spreading it. Like, that's fucking logic. I ain't took the vaccination. I ain't got corona and I ain't gave nobody corona. By sheer facts from your own fucked up government and that news you be listening to, they will tell you the same thing too. So see, if your government didn't keep stepping in, they keep telling you to take this shot. If it wasn't for this vaccination, we would all have what's called natural fucking immunity. And we will be moving on in the cold and flu season. And just like the flu kills so many people a year, but not enough that we get tripped out about it, you would just see people catching corona in the flu season, and some people would die from it just like they die from the flu, and we could get back to normalcy. But because your media and your government keeps telling you that this is so much bigger than it is, it ain't even about corona. It's about the new motherfucking world order. Somebody said we ain't gonna never be monetized. You talk about my channel? What? I don't need to be monetized. Forget y'all. The truth is not worth having to pay me. So understand that. So I'm not mad at none of y'all that got it. A lot of y'all don't know. I have people in my family that got it, and I told them, you guys stay away from me. So you know how y'all mad at people like, oh, you ain't got the shot, leave me alone. Let's stay away from me and mine. Because we stay in the house. I live a quarantine life before they call quarantine. I'm okay. That's how I'm going to show you. And I'm going to tell you how you live a quarantined life. If you decide not to get the shot, how can you survive in your house? I'm about to tell you how you can. I've been doing it for quite a few years, okay? I'm going to let you know. But I want y'all to, this is not a joke, y'all. I mean, how many of y'all 2 years ago? Let's go back 2 years ago, because a little over a year, all of this happened. How many of y'all 2 years ago was living your life and in your house and you was like, man, they would never lock us up in our house and tell us we can't go nowhere without no shot. They wouldn't be forcing everybody to take an experiment just so that they can go back to work. They wouldn't be doing all of this. We wouldn't have all these folks dying. They wouldn't be setting us up and telling me I can't go nowhere and I'm on lockdown. There'd be food shortages. There'd be water shortages. There'd be threats of zombie attacks and shit. You would be like, you lying, you crazy. I'm going to work. Stop talking to me. You watch too much motherfucking TV. That's what y'all told me 2 years ago. But you here now. Like, for real, you really here now. If you on here and you in New York, who in New York right now? Is anybody in the chat in New York? If it is, tell me how you feel. Just give me a word or something in there. I got some New Yorkers in the house. How you feel about the fact you can't go nowhere unless you get this shot on September 13th? Y'all said the date is the 13th. You are really under arrest in your home in a country that's supposed to be free. That sounds like some dictatorship shit to me. I thought this was America, the land of the free. So I said I was going to say this a couple times before I get off the video. I think it's a good point to say this again, right? If there has ever been a time that we should rebel in this country and not do what we are told to do, that time would be now, because nothing is going to be the same again, ever. So now let's talk about the CDC. First of all, let me say this. And even for people who keep talking about that vaccination like it's not a big deal, people want to know what that is. It's about depopulation. Right? They're trying to get rid of the older people. If you've noticed that they're the most vulnerable population, the older people, then of course, those of us that go to work, they're trying to force it on us. Because I told y'all before, if you want to reset a society, you must get rid of the adults and you must get into the mind of the youthful generation, the children, because you can mold them to be whatever you want to be. Now think about this. If most of us die off, I already told y'all not to go into a long old rabbit hole about it, but it's like Child Protective Services have become the disciplinaries for our children in this country. The public schools have become basically the parents. They spend more time with your children and have more influence than anything else, right? They're there more hours a day. So you really don't hold those standards any goddamn way in life. They've taken all of that so they can take your children from you, because your old ass is gonna die. And they're ready for your old ass to die because you're the only one that thinks, you're the last generation. We're the ones that think about we should have genders. Like, it's not okay to be a pedophile, even though TED Talks wants to tell you it's okay to be a pedophile and we shouldn't shun them. All facts. Go look them up. You can Google pedophilia TED Talk right now. That shit gonna come the fuck up. I want you to test me on what I'm saying to you. Go Google it all and look it up. Go see for yourself. I want you to go look it up. A lot of y'all don't want to, and maybe you shouldn't because you ain't gonna like what you see. Maybe you just should believe I'm over exaggerating. I'm a lie, because ignorance is bliss. And in a situation like this, for some of y'all that don't know what to do, maybe you should just stay ignorant so that you can't really see the terror by night. It might be better for some of y'all. See, because when we all gone, then our children will come up and they will raise their children in the new way. They're not going to argue, because you do know that they're not putting genders on birth certificates now anymore. Did y'all hear that? See, that's going to be the new way of things. When you have a child, you're going to be able to dress your baby in girl clothes or boy clothes. It's whatever the parent wants. Oh, I got a boy, but I wanted a girl. We're just going to make her be Susan. Yeah. And that's going to be normal. So you got to get rid of all the people who thought the old way, who think this shit is ridiculous, so they can implement the new way of doing shit. So that is all a part of this. And they're going to do this around the world. That's why this is a new world order. So it's about depopulation, but they're also specific about who the fuck they're trying to get rid of. Because it is a great reset of society. America's not going to ever be the same again. If you live 10 years from now, mark my words, look at how ridiculous shit will be. You're going to feel like a motherfucker who just got out of prison for 20 years and somebody showed you a cell phone for the first time and you're like, what the fuck is this? What is a YouTube? What is the social media? What is a fucking DoorDash? That's how you're going to feel. You're going to be like, what is this crazy shit? Because it's not going to make no sense to you. And they need people like us to get the fuck out of Dodge so that they can implement the shit that they want to do. So the CDC always in business. They just always around. Why they always in something, right? The CDC. When you think of the CDC before this pandemic, how many of y'all think of the CDC and the first thing you think of is like the movie like I Am Legend and The Stand? It's always a movie where there's this big old virus that break out and somehow it turn everybody to zombies or it kills everybody and it's only a certain part of the population left and it always starts and this virus get loose and burn and all of the lockdown coming, the gates be trying to close not to let a nigga out the lab, everybody got the virus, that shit they be priming your mind for. So when people like me talk to you about it, you be like, girl, you was watching too much TV. But why in all of them movies, this is priming. They showed you this plenty so that it doesn't seem so crazy when it happens. First thing you're going to say is like, wow, this like the movies. But it's a way of priming your mind. Like, that coat you put on before you put on the paint, it stick better if they show it to you before they actually do it. Even if they showing it to you in a movie, psychologically it work well. It hits your subconscious, right? But in every last one of those movies, everybody is always fighting to go where? They show up at the CDC. We got to find the CDC headquarters. And this is where they be in the movies. And they get there and nobody's there. They want to know if somebody will let them in. All the science, everybody gone. But it always shows the CDC. And the CDC been doing a whole lot of talking lately. The Center for Disease and Control, if you don't know what that means, right? So they're talking about the control of diseases, right? This is what they're talking about. So how many of y'all think it's a joke? The CDC did tell you could go on their website. I promise you can, okay? If I'm lying, I cash app you $10. But if you lying, you got to cash app me $10, okay? So don't play. But you go to CDC right now, and they're going to tell you that you should watch The Walking Dead to prepare for COVID. But the truth is that the CDC has actually used The Walking Dead in a lot of advertisements over the years, okay, to say as a way of training to prepare for certain things that may happen and shit like that, okay? So they've used it, but let's break this down. Why would they use The Walking Dead as an example? So let's just talk to all the people who think what I'm about to say is real ridiculous. We're just gonna stay in the comfort zone for those people at first, okay? So let's just remove zombies. That's crazy, right? Ain't no such thing as fucking zombies, girl. Shut up. I'm about to click off this live. This girl, she be smoking too much weed. This is what some of y'all thinking, right? So let's just remove the zombie aspect for a moment. Let's focus on nothing else. If they're not talking about the zombies, why are they telling you to watch The Walking Dead? Well, what you see in The Walking Dead is a lot of lawlessness, right? There's no law to help anybody. You see a lot of survival, right? Where you have to scrounge for food. People are going into houses. People are in the store trying to find what they can find on the shelf. People are scrounging for things. Like there is no help out there. There is no food out there. It's like to each his own. There are people fighting with people who are out there just to create lawlessness. Yes. Some people, when there is no authority out there, they just want to do whatever they can do. So there's always going to be a group of people who are going to take advantage and they're going to want to run around and commit crime and just fuck with people because they can and rape a motherfucker because the police ain't coming and kidnap a kid because who you telling, right? So you're going to have that lawlessness. So if you've watched The Walking Dead, you see a lot of that. So let's just stick to that. So let's say they're just saying if it's a natural disaster, if the power go out, if it ain't no food on the shelf, like these are some of the things you should prepare for. Let's just stay there. Wow, that's fucking crazy. So let that sink in. How many of you are ready for that? Let's say it's no zombies. Are you ready for power outages? No authority, no law, no 911 motherfucking one. They not coming. 911 is not coming. Okay? You don't have any food and you can't just go out to the grocery store and get none. And if you could, there's not even any left on the goddamn shelves. So what you gonna do? So let's just stay with that. Are any of you prepared for that? Are you prepared for lawlessness, no power, no food, no water, defend, protect your motherfucking self? Are you ready for that? And this is a very realistic thing because how many of you have ever been in natural disasters? I was in Springfield, Massachusetts one year, and we had a tornado. It was the first time a tornado had ever hit down, and it ripped roofs off houses. It killed a couple people, but power was out. People could not eat. Shit was crazy. Folks was running to get everything off the shelf at the store. The Red Cross and everybody was through there trying to pass out food and shit, right? And even in that, it was crazy shit going on because we was dealing with power outages. And a whole lot was going on. I was in Detroit when we had a power outage. Was it like 8 goddamn days? As soon as it got dark outside, that was just a power outage. Soon as it got dark outside, all you heard was screaming, gunshots, and mayhem. As women, we stayed in the house. We did not go to fuck outside until the sun came up. Okay? Because there were no lights for us to see anything, but that's when all the craziness started. That was a power outage, y'all, not a pandemic. Okay? For 8 days. The stores had people standing in line. They were price gouging. Water was running the fuck out. People couldn't find what they needed to keep their food cold. Food was going bad. After a couple days, we didn't know what to do. When the power came off after 8 days, as Americans, we was like, shit, it was like a third world country. We thought we were finna die in this bitch. Really? 8 days. So what would happen if you just lost your power in the hood and you dealt with all of these things for 30 days? How many of you would make it 30 days? Because 8 days felt like a lifetime to us, and it was just a power outage. Katrina. Katrina is a whole nother level. But how many of you remember watching Katrina? And in a week, do you remember how things changed? How many of you remember the white woman? Y'all got to remember it with me. And she's holding a baby. She's like, oh, we're good right now. You know, like they coming. And, you know, it's only been a day or two. They did drop some water. Everybody seem okay. 3 days later, he won't wake up. Ain't nobody coming for us. I don't think he's alive. People are passing out. I watched so many people die. It's all this lawless going on. Won't nobody help us? My baby won't even wake up. I don't know if he's alive, and I don't even got no damn water for him. And the bitch was losing her mind. And her baby was dying in her fucking arms. 3 days later. We ain't prepared for 30 days, 6 months, because we not prepared for 3 days. I've seen it. We've all seen it. Everybody's attitude changed in Katrina from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, as you went along. So much chaos and crazy things happened in the middle of Katrina. You don't think, see, this is the thing, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it's a pandemic, the bottom line is all those things are still the same. You're dealing with lawlessness, you're dealing with a scarcity of resources, and you're dealing with the ability to protect yourself, because the saying do or die, right? Survival of the fittest, like that shit really kicks in there. Because you got people that might be a nice person, but after it's been a couple days and they got to feed their kids, they probably take you and your 70-year-old mama neck off and clean out your cabinets because I got a baby to feed. Fuck y'all. I'm so serious. So I just want y'all to think, like, let's just go there for The Walking Dead. So if that's what the CDC is saying, that in itself is enough to make you stop and think. CDC has this on their website. It's still there. Go look at it. It says to watch The Walking Dead to prepare for this pandemic. Okay? Now let's talk about the zombie part. How many of you think zombies do not exist? It's funny because your government keeps training for it. You don't believe me? This one I'm going to Google for you. Okay? I'll Google this one for you. You can go put in zombie training for the military. It says Con Plan 8888, also known as Counter Zombie Dominance in the U.S. Department of Defense Strategic Command. CONOP document that describe a plan for defending against zombies. The April 30th, 2011 document depicts fictional scenarios of attacks as a means of training students in military planning. But if you read further into the documents, see this right here, this first thing that come up, go ahead and read it. They even got a name for what the plan is, right? But I want you to know America is not the only one with a zombie plan going on in a fucking military. Go look it up. Why? Why do governments have zombie attacks? But if you even look at the documents underneath the plan for the military, go and read them. It even has things in there that talks about using zombies. that you would capture them and you can train them, even though they're mindless, just like you can computers. So no zombie gets killed unless you really need to kill them because you can actually use them to attack as an army of zombies. I fucking kid you not. Go read it. And it's fictional. That don't even make no sense to me. Why the fuck would the government be spending money to have their military training on some fictional shit like some zombies? Why don't you just train on natural disasters, motherfucker? Why don't you just train on what really happened to us? Oh, because this is something that could really happen to us, is what I'm telling you. You don't believe me? We've seen zombies. One of the people in the chat said it because you probably already heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. How many of you remember Florida? Florida is ground zero. Who lives in Florida? Florida is ground zero for all type of chemical warfare and experiments and everything else. Florida is off the hook. I would never live in Florida. It is a reason crazy shit happens in Florida all the time. Well, how many of you remember bath salt? A man that was high on something called bath salt. I'm from the hood. I've never heard of any drug that just because it killed people, they stopped taking it. Like that K2, that fake ass weed that was around. People kept smoking that shit, even though folks was bugging out. When I was coming up, they did shit called wet water or sherm, right? And what it was they put embalming fluid and would spray it on the blunt. Who the fuck smoking embalming fluid? A bunch of motherfuckers who want to get high. People was crazy. They was hallucinating, and it did not stop them from smoking embalming fluid. They did it anyway. So just because there's a drug that gives you superhuman strength and makes you want to eat people's faces off, there's some crazy people out there who are willing to try it. So how did bath salt appear? Like, who is the nigga in jail selling bath salt? Do y'all know this dude? How much is it cost? How do you take bath salt? Like, do you sniff it? Do you eat it? Do you drink it? Do you smoke it? Well, how do you take it? Is there a drug dealer around here that dealt drugs, bath salt? And where you get your shit from? Do the Mexicans make it? Do it grow in a plant? I need to know. See, nobody asked any of these things. Then all of a sudden, bath salt was there. We had a couple of situations. All of them seem to be in Florida for the most part. There may have been one somewhere else, but correct me if I'm wrong. You could go look on YouTube. There were way more than that one man. Go look them up. But these were supposed to be people who was taking bath salt. But bath salt magically went away after all of this happened. We never heard of the drug again. Nobody's taking it, and it didn't happen anymore. That is called chemical warfare. They lied to you, and they told you it was a drug so that they could test it and they could see what would happen. So check this out. Homie bit that homeless man face off. Like, I'm talking about, he really ripped his nose off, his lips off, his whole face was bloody. He was eating that man's face. When the police came to confront him, they had to shoot him a gang of times because he has superhuman strength. There's also another video of a man that is half naked. He jumps into a woman's sunroof at the stoplight, and he goes in her, and he's trying to bite her and grab her, and she jumps out and runs out of her car screaming. There is a naked ass black man inside of a train station. He is growling like a fool, and he's naked and he's slobbing, and he got superhuman strength, and the police had to come and calm him the fuck down too, right? One of them men, I believe it was the one that ate off his face, they had to shoot that motherfucker like 20 times. And he was not stopping. I'm not lying about any of this, y'all. It actually happened. So my question would be to you, before you tell me that zombies are not real, what do you define as a zombie? Because I would tell you that we have seen them. How many of you remember something called spontaneous combustion? When I was like 19 years old and I was in college, I used to watch all these crime shows, and I realized that there was a decade where they had these things called spontaneous combustion, and it was these real weird deaths where people would combust from the inside out, and it's like their insides would catch on fire and they would burn from the inside out, and their whole body would be burnt, but the chair they were sitting in wasn't burnt, the house didn't burn down, nothing was burnt. Do y'all remember hearing about that? And they said that it was a medical thing that was weird. It was called spontaneous combustion. But the crazy thing is, at the time it happened, there were several cases, and then we didn't hear anything else about it again. So how come it only happened for a moment and we didn't hear it again? You seen it again. You want me to tell you when? When all of those fires happened in California. Do you remember looking at the pictures of how cars were melted? Cars don't fucking melt when they're burned like liquid metal. This is not fucking RoboCop. How come when you looked at those neighborhoods that were burned down by the fires, how come there was a tree standing and there was still leaves on them that hadn't been singed at all? But there was a whole fucking house and a car in front of you and it had been disintegrated down to the bricks and the fucking car frame was melted in the street. That's not a normal fire, y'all. And we won't go down this whole rabbit hole tonight, you know what I'm saying? But if you go and look, there's actually blueprints that say that they want to build a fast train like China has, and it's right in the area where everybody got burnt out. See, I keep telling y'all that the government will still kill you to take your land. Okay, so they tested spontaneous combustion. Let's be clear. It's called chemical warfare. They test these things on their people all the time. You should go look up your government because some of these things they've even admitted to. So if they've done it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, why you don't think they ain't gonna do it again? So spontaneous combustion was also one of those things they later used. So you don't see the bath salt shit no more. You didn't hear about it no more. But just recently, we saw another episode of what I would call zombie-like behavior. How many of you remember recently the old white lady a couple months back? She was in a lift. Y'all remember that? And there was a white guy that was driving. She a white lady too. And she was in the car and she was grabbing his neck and growling at him saying, "I'm going to kill you." And she was growling and acting like she was an animal and she was grabbing his neck and he was trying to get away from her. He had pulled over. People were at the car and he was trying to get out. Well, she reached up in the front and bit a chunk out this nigga neck. When she did that, he moved real quick. And he was like, "Oh shit." And he got out the door and he got out of her grip. Then he thought she wasn't playing. She was growling at him. She was an old ass lady. I'm not sure why this young guy couldn't get away from her. She seemed to be kind of powerful for her age. And she bit this man in his neck. She's felt the need to bite him and bite a chunk out of his skin. The crazier part is they asked this woman, why did she do this later? And she said that she does not even recall that she did it. She got in the back of the lift. She blacked out, she guessed. There's nothing she's ever done before. She wasn't on any drugs. She doesn't know why this thing happened to her. And when she saw the video, she was like, I don't have any even remembrance of doing that. I'm just saying, 2 months ago, we watched a person act like a fucking zombie. So what I'm telling you is, whether you believe that the government will do this, whether you believe it's something chemically they will use, whether you think that it can be done, this is the only thing I'm trying to convince you of right now. The only thing. I don't know what you want to call it, but there is a chemical, whether you call it a drug or you call it whatever. There's actually a chemical, we know this to be a fact, that can cause people to have zombie-like behavior. They call it bath salt. The bottom line is it exists. Think about that. Do you think your government sees something like this that exists if they didn't create it and they haven't taken it to see what they could do to use it for their own warfare? So just let that rest in your mind. You have seen issues of this happen, and there's a chemical, no matter what you want to call it, that can turn people into zombie-like behavior. If your government wanted to spray that over a whole city, like they spray chemtrails, what would you do? I'm just saying, what if? That's just a what if. Because I don't put nothing past your government, because I just am curious as to why would the government be training for something like this and then telling you that you should prepare to watch something like this and we should take it lightly and none of us should be prepared for this? I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy to me. So you could call me crazy, but I think it's crazy that the government, and again, go look it up on Google. The United States is not the only military that has a plan for a zombie apocalypse, and how to deal with zombies and how to deal with the population of those that aren't zombified and the ones that are. The plans are very detailed for it to be some pretend shit. Like, kiss my ass. It ain't pretend. Stop playing with me. You ain't spent all this time to do all this, spend all this money on this training for something that you don't think ain't gonna ever happen. That don't even make no sense. Right? So let's go on to something else. So we talked about the food shortages. We talked about being in your house, y'all. So what I want to talk to y'all about now, see, because these things could come about, zombies and all of that, whether you believe that it's not. But I'm sure we're gonna go into a second lockdown. I mean, I'm sure anybody looking can see that. Can't y'all see that? We have food shortage. We have all these things coming on that we probably are not prepared for, right? But this time, know that when you go in your house, you're not just gonna come back out of your house. that this the first time was a test. They feared you into your house the first time because you would have resisted. And now this time we've already comfortable with it. I want y'all to know that's called like a foot in the door technique. You can use it in marketing, you can use it in manipulation, you can use it in conditioning, you can use it in anything. But foot in the door technique is where you do something to kind of ease your way into something with the person on the other end. Because if you ask them what you want up front, or you reveal your true magnitude of the thing you're asking, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy and say, no, fuck you. So you have to ease your way in. So once you got your foot in the door, right? When you come to the real thing you want, it doesn't sound as unreasonable because you've already ushered them in that direction. That's called the foot in the door technique. If I need my Uncle Charles to loan me $500, but I know he's not gonna give me $500, and he'll be like, "Girl, you sound crazy as fuck asking me $500. I ain't got that much money to give you. You might not pay me back, right?" If you say that to me. So what you do is you get your foot in the door with Uncle Charles. You ask Uncle Charles to loan you $50. You keep Uncle Charles's $50. You give it back to him when you say you're gonna give it back. But it's Uncle Charles's $50. He like, "Oh shit, you pay me back." You got your foot in the door. Uncle Charles believe you might pay him back now. So you go over to Charles a little later and you say, "Can I borrow $100, Uncle Charles? I'm gonna pay you back. You know I'm good for it, bro." Uncle Charles give you the $100. You pay him back. It's his $100. You ain't even spend it because you really need $500. But Uncle Charles ain't gonna give you that shit if you ask it for him off the bat. Now you know worked your way into Uncle Charles' heart. Somewhere subconsciously he feel he can trust you. He know that you probably gonna pay him back now because you've already tested the waters with Uncle Charles. So now you like, "Uncle Charles, can I get that $500 to fix my car? If I can't get to work, you know I can't get no money. You know if I get to work, I'm good for it. I give it to you." And then Uncle Charles, he's more likely to give it to you now than he would the first time you asked it for it. Well, that's the foot in the door technique. And you can use it in a lot of things. I was just trying to give it to you in a way that you can understand it, right? So they got their foot in the door with us. They scared us into our homes. We did it willingly. We did it out of fear. We thought it was a good thing. We always think the government is telling us the truth. So we didn't ask any motherfucking questions, right? We didn't ask no questions. We just did it because our government don't lie to us. Our government wouldn't do this stuff to us. And the crazy thing is, if you just go Google it, your government has done a million fucking things to you. It's been proven. The documents are out there. They said sorry, but they still doing the shit. So it's not even a question of what our government do these things. They have been doing these things and they are there for you to go see if you would just go look. They have been experimenting on populations of people since for forever, doing evil, corrupt shit to the people in this government, but they take it, I mean, in this country, but they taking it to another level now. So don't sit here and think that this can't happen or that they're not going to do these things to us. That would be a lie. So they got the foot in the door. But this second time, if you go into your house and we comply with this lockdown, and we comply with this. You can't go nowhere unless you got a vaccination. You can't go into the grocery store. You can't go to, I don't need to go to the club, but still, I mean, that's your right as an American to be free. You can't go anywhere. You ain't going to be able to keep your job if you won't take the vaccination. You ain't going to be able to fly nowhere if you can't take the vaccination. You ain't going to be able to walk your ass into a grocery store or none of that. Are you ready for that? And if we do that, no, you will not come back out again until you have complied with the way society is. And they want you all in your house. Check this out. How many of you know? We talked about that. Biden is sending out that little stupid ass team that's going to be going around to people's house just to give you more information. You know, they just want to make sure that you got all the information you need on COVID, just in case, you know, you ain't know that this shit is an experiment and it probably will kill your ass. But if it don't, you good. They're not going to tell you like that, right? They're going to tell you how good it is for you, how you being unvaccinated, you're causing all the problems in the community. And they're going to want to know who in your house is vaccinated. Well, guess what? Remember we talked about that? How do you get a real count of who's vaccinated and who's not, so you can have these red zones and these green zones on the map to let you know which communities are most vaccinated, which communities are not, and you will have all of this planned out. Well, if I come knock on your motherfucking door, I need you to be home. So it would be perfect for us to just lock everybody down again. We know that you're in your house. People aren't running around, you know, and anybody who is out in public places, we already know they got the shot. The unvaccinated will be in their home. So we will make sure we get a very accurate account. Now, I can't tell you what they're going to do when they get done with that account, but they're going to find a way to try and push it and be very specific about who they targeting, because now they're going to know who has it and who don't have it. So if I got to come knock on your door, I would at least want you to be home. Well, if I put you on punishment again, America, everybody's going to be at home. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to y'all? I can see why they doing it. So I want to say to y'all, you can't stop the shit. Unless we all finna rise our right to fuck now and just be like, fuck this government. We not going in the house. We gonna rebel. We gonna burn our mass in the streets and shit. Start shooting zombies. That's if the zombies is out yet. Don't just be shooting regular people. You gotta make sure they're really zombies, okay? If we don't start rebelling at this point, if we go back in our house, I want you to know there's no going back from here. If there was ever a time, I'm gonna say it again, for us to rebel as a country, it would be right now. Because nothing is ever going to be the same again. So let me tell you this. What you need, right? That's going to help you get through all of this. And I won't say get through, it's going to help you learn to survive it. Because this is the new way of things. So this is a new world order. It's a new way. We're not going backwards, y'all. So shit not going to be like you expected it to be ever the fuck again. So one, let's talk about these babies. School is getting ready to start. This is where the solution part plays. Everybody say, we talk about all the stuff that happened, where the solutions. I'm going to give y'all some solutions, okay? The ones that I have, the ones that I know, the things that I do, and I live by myself, I can testify to. There may be other solutions, and some of y'all may have some suggestions. Please feel free to put them in the chat, because this is about us being prepared, because this shit is coming for everybody, but I want to make it clear. The Black community is always the first to be devastated by something, and we are the last to be prepared. So at least be prepared, so you have a chance. Don't make shit harder on yourself than it need to be. Because it ain't nothing like having no power and having a hungry stomach and having children look at you and you think you finna go to the store when the food stamp machine don't even work no more because maybe the system's done failed. You ain't got no cash, you ain't got nothing. And even if you did, there ain't shit on the shelf. So I don't know where you think you're going. That's just not going to be a joke when that happens. So let's talk about the babies first. If they're telling you to give your child a vaccination before this shutdown happens, because they do a shutdown, your kid's going to be right the hell back at home, which is fine. A lot of y'all kids spent a whole lot of time at home when the first shutdown happened. Y'all kind of got used to having them in the house. I know your kids might jump around and you're like, what the hell? I didn't know it was this hard to watch my own motherfucking kids, which is my point in case of this, that the school raises your children too much because your babies came home and y'all was like, fuck, my kids don't listen. They don't. Damn, they won't sit still. Damn, I can't get them to listen. They try to eat up everything in the house. You ain't spent enough time with your kids. The school done had them so much. Now they at home with you. I'm going to just keep it real. You don't have to tell on yourself. Some of y'all in the chat know that I'm not lying. You don't even know what to do with your damn kids. You was like, so this is what it's like to be with my kids all day. Some of y'all didn't know what to do with that. But hopefully y'all have gotten a little bit more used to it. I would tell you to stick with that. Keep your kids in homeschool, right? So if you say I'm not a teacher, what Ramsey say? Breaking news is required in France to show. Oh, this is what I'm saying. It's going to happen everywhere. This is the new world order. This is not just the United States. This is everywhere. So it's everywhere. It's not just here, right? But put your kids in some type of a school, you guys, online. And so if you don't know any, Ziax Institute is a great one. If one of my moderators, shout out to Deishlin, she already put it in there. They keep putting it in there. If you will go to Ziax, right? ZiaxTheMovement.org, okay? And Ziax is spelled Xyayx, right? ZiaxTheMovement.org. For anybody who listening, you don't know how to get to the chat. That's how you spell it, okay? But you don't have to be a teacher. Right? This is a Black center school, but if you're watching and you're not Black, you can't put your kids in it. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. It is a school for Black children. So we stand in that. And if y'all mad at us and we racist, I don't care. I don't even know why you're on my show or my video because my name is Mechee. I'll be talking to y'all anyway. But the truth is, this affects everybody. But this can't help you if you're not Black. But if you're Black, you can put your kids in Ziax, right? There are teachers there that's going to teach your kids STEM. You can order your kits off of Amazon. They're going to be building bridges, making pulleys, making robots. It is a STEM school. It is based in science, math, technology, and all of those things. Q, do not let his hat to the back and them gold teeth fool you. He is smart as fuck. That man is very intelligent, and he is the one that runs that school. And your kids can go to school online, right, with a bunch of other Black children, and they can get all of the education they need. They give you progress reports. They give you all the hours that you would need for homeschooling for your kids to be there. You have to have them in front of an electronic device that they can get on Zoom and they can go to class. You do not have to be the teachers, right? Somebody said mixed children. Well, I am mixed. Zero likeness, right? So yes, if your child is mixed with Black, then they can go to the school. So that's not a problem. But your children have to have some Black. They gotta have a Black parent. Yes, at least one. Okay? Because in this country, them being half black, know that they a Negro too. And that's what they're gonna be seen as. But know that in that school, they're gonna be taught black empowerment. So if your child is mixed and you have a problem with them being taught about colonizers and what that means, and you got a problem with your child being in, second grade, and they can tell you what a colonizer is, because they're gonna teach them that. They're gonna teach them how places have been colonized, and they're gonna understand the meaning of that stuff. And they're gonna talk to them about the oppression, and they're gonna say, how do you feel about things like the George Floyd case? Like, that's what they write in their journal about, because they're understanding where they are and how they excel above that. So all I would say is, if you have mixed children, don't be one of them kind of parents that if the other parent, whatever race they are, they're kind of offended by the pro-blackness in the school, because that might become a problem for you. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But Zayax, go check out the school. They are all caught up on all their enrollments. I know some of y'all was trying to get in, but go ahead and check them out. Go ahead and hit up the site. If you have questions, you can email them. My children go to the school. So again, I'm not telling y'all to do something I don't do. My kids have been homeschooled for, oh God, so many years, I don't even remember now, maybe 5. So my kids don't go to school. I told you I live a quarantine life anyway. So I'm gonna tell y'all how to make this shit easier for y'all. But you should check out the school. You should definitely do that, right? Don't give your baby that shot to put your kids in public school. Now, if they let you do the little form, if it's about religion, lie. We don't take shots. I believe in Jesus. I know some of y'all right with me. We don't do the Christianity. If you got to lie, lie. And if they let you get away with the form for now, fine. But don't give your child that shot. That is my opinion. I think that you shouldn't do it. And if you want to give your child a shot, you take that shit first. Wait 2 weeks. See if your ass die. And if you good, then do it. Don't let them be the test dummy. You let your ass be the test dummy, okay? So that's one thing, to be able to keep your children out of these schools so you don't have to force that vaccination, right? Next thing I want to tell you is go get you some damn food. I'm serious. Go get you some food. If you have to get out of your community, because in a lot of the inner cities, I showed y'all the videos earlier of all the food shortages on the shelf. That's one store. But every store I go to is looking like that. But again, you can still go out a little bit further to the suburbs, go a little bit out of your community, try smaller grocery store chains that ain't so goddamn big, right? Where you still find stuff. Yes. And you want to buy, don't go crazy. I know all the meat was missing, but that's not the thing you even want the most of. You need dry goods. Okay? You need dry goods. You need rice, beans, shit to fill people up. Okay. It might not be good. Do you want to die? Is you hungry today? That kind of shit, right? So go and get all your regular stuff for the refrigerator, but don't play yourself. Because if they turn your power off, all that refrigerator and freezer shit ain't gonna last you anyway. Right? So make sure you got dry goods. Make sure that you have generators, y'all. Now, some of these things that I can promote, I don't have a company that sell generators yet. I would love to, but I myself have generators. I bought them on Amazon, so I would tell you where I got them from. I bought them on Amazon. I can't think of the name of them now, but they're solar panel, and I would suggest solar panel. And the reason I say solar panel is because if you, first of all, if you have a regular generator and you got to put gas in it, do not have it in enclosed doors anywhere, even in your garage. It creates carbon monoxide poisoning. And still today, people don't know that and they die from it. So you have to keep the generator outside. But if you are in desperate times and I see your generator outside humming, I'm coming over there with my Glock 9 or my shotgun or my AK, and I might just challenge you. And you might look up and I might have unplugged your generator and that shit gone. So I wouldn't want to sit my generator outside. That's just me. I'm from the hood. I think you're gonna steal my shit. Okay. So get you some solar panel ones, because you can charge the solar panels and bring them back in and use them. Okay, for your generator. I have several of them from the same company. I bought a small one that I can put all my electronics and shit on. Remember, if your power go out and you ain't got no Wi-Fi, you ain't got no Wi-Fi. So to plug all that small shit in, right? Don't be laughing. Let me somebody said I'm weak. So make sure that you do that. I got a big one. I have a couple of them. I have a big one that I can plug in my TV and it'll play for 24 hours. I can plug in my refrigerator, my whole fucking stove, and cook if I need to. So keep them things in mind. If you're gonna have a big ass deep freezer, please have something to plug it up with and back it up if the power go out. I'm just saying, right? So make sure that you have that. Have water. Have plenty of water, right? And I would suggest that y'all take some time and learn how to catch rainwater and how to filter those things, right? But you need water. So go get some water now. And let me tell you this to people: if you can't find water on the shelves at the store, let me tell you a way around there where you can get some water. Is what I do. Go to like them water delivery companies, Poland Springs, or whatever the fuck. My company ain't Poland Springs, but it's Crystal Rock or some shit like that. But they will deliver you all kind of water. And you can actually get a backup. You know what I'm saying? So I had them bring me 20 of them bottles. So they all in the thing. But then I get my regular water, right? So right now I'm gonna use the waters that they bring me every week, but them other ones I got is saved up in the garage. So if you can't find it in your store, then you can also have a delivery from the company. So keep that in mind. So you can have some water, right? But make sure you have some water and get you some food, some dry shelf stuff. Now, if you do not have enough stuff in your cabinets, if you want to have stuff that lasts longer, you're not sure what all to get, I would tell you this: you can go over to my page, the Real Mechee X. Can you put that link in there for everybody, for my moderators? You can go over to the realmecheex.com, go to the survival tab, and under that survival tab there is a website, right, that you can go to, and they have all type of survival needs. So they have rice and bean buckets. They have freezer dried fruit. They have freezer dried meat. It's all freezer dried, so it can last. It don't need to go in the freezer. It lasts up to 25 years, but you should have some of that also. I have a combination of both, right? I use the same products, I'm telling you. But you can also buy life straws over there, have some first aid kits, shit like that, right? So you can go over there. There's all kind of stuff over there. If your power goes out, there's stoves that you can cook stuff on, that you can heat stuff up with if you have food and things like that to make hot water. These things don't seem like a big deal, but when you're in a situation where you need it, yeah, you need that shit. So, like I said, you can go over to the realmecheex.com and you can hit the survival tab, or you can go straight to the website, preparewithmecheex.com, right? But go over there and get you some of those things and look through all of it, not just the food, the food, the emergency food supply. There are also survival things that you would need that you may not ever even have thought of until you go to look at them, right? So go take a look at some of that stuff. If you like Mechee, you just trying to get money from the Black community, then I don't care. Fuck you. Don't go to my site. Go to somebody's site. I'm just telling you, these are the things that you need. Okay. You don't have to get them from me. It's fine. But get them from somebody. So let me see what else. So we got the kids' school, we got the emergency food supplies. Yes, the next thing I want to point out to somebody. Now, how many of y'all was in my class before? Right? That's in here in the chat. I've said this many times. Okay. You're gonna be stuck in your damn house. And we talked about United requiring y'all to take vaccinations in other places. Yes. So what you gonna do if you can't keep your job? Because if you don't take that vax, you about to lose your job. So, like I've always told y'all, how many of y'all remember back when I first started doing these classes over a year ago? You better learn how to make some money online. Again, you do not have to take my class. Take somebody's. Derek Grace has his class. It's 90% off right now. He got a whole lot of stuff. He teaches a lot of the same shit I do, but he's done it on a much grander level. Go buy his shit. Go buy somebody's shit. He going out of business. His stuff is 90% off, right? There are plenty of people out here teaching this information. Get it from whoever you can get it from, even if it ain't me. But you can go over to the realmecheex.com and you can sign up on how to make money online. And I teach like 7 different ways in that class. We have our monthly membership to keep going ways to make money. But I want you to understand that money is online. Everything now. Now, did you hear what I said? You think they're gonna send everybody in their house for nothing? And what they're gonna do with that? You do realize that the first shutdown, did you see how many major businesses and department stores and everything else closed up? They did not leave, y'all. They just transferred to online. They were preparing for what's coming. So remember this from a perspective of how you make money. Okay? Because they're going to hold that over a lot of y'all damn heads. And somebody said, I can't afford to lose my job. Well, then I think you can't afford, if you don't want to take that shot, not to learn another way to make you some goddamn money. So I just want to tell y'all there's plenty of ways to make money online, but I want to make this greater point from a perspective of making money online. When I just told you that a big part of the population is not going to be able to go the fuck outside, do you know how much stuff is going to be provided online? You better fucking provide something to somebody. Groceries can be delivered online. Drones can bring you food in Amazon packages now. So they don't give a fuck about you delivering trucks. They will ice your ass out. This is the real movie when the robots was taking over. They already have robots that deliver food in a little oven. They'll drive. They stop at the stoplights and everything. They come to your house, bitch, come down. Your DoorDash is here. And if it was a cold ice cream, it's in a cold box. If it's a hot ice cream, if hot food, it's in a hot box. They got self-driving motherfucking cars. They got drones delivering packages. Y'all not finna have no jobs no more anyway. So while everybody is at home and they're doing what? They're going to be looking for services online. They're going to be looking for entertainment online. They're going to be looking for education online, hobbies online, everything online, because you're going to be in your house. And if you ain't in your house and you took it, imagine how many people are going to be in their house. This is the new wave of where we're going. Majority of all of your services and businesses will be online, even your entertainment. I'm not playing with you. So if you a singer, and you can sing or you can rap, you might want to get you a little setup in the back, and you might want to open you up a virtual club, like Soul Train or some shit. Make sure it's good. Have a couple people in the back dancing, make the move right. Have your little drink, and we can get our little drinks, which we could pay to get into your little club or whatever. And you in there getting it in. You singing and shit, you rapping. Maybe you have some special guests. Y'all better stop playing with me, because there's too many ways to make money online. And I'm just telling you to find a way to do so. People are going to be looking for everything. When they sit in the house, people rediscover shit that they ain't never discovered in life. I think I want to go find me a hobby. Give these motherfuckers a hobby. They want to learn how to meditate. You got a certificate in yoga. Black people love to be certified in yoga now. Well, you better put that fucking certificate to use. Are you a trainer? Well, then teach somebody how to exercise and lose some weight at home, because you can't take your ass to the gym pretty soon, right? So this is what I'm telling you. If you know how to play an instrument, can you teach another motherfucker? Can you speak another language? People are going to be looking to do everything online. Somebody asked me, when was my next class? You can go sign up for the class and start watching it right the fuck now. And on there, we talk about courses and classes and things that you can teach people from what you have in your repertoire of experiences. And that's the great thing about online. Some things you have to be certified and licensed to teach. Online, a lot of things you don't. Experience and knowledge can help you teach people how to do a lot. Like, there's nowhere that says, I got a lot of y'all that have sent me books. There's nowhere that says you have to have a legal license to teach somebody how to make a book. If you have written and published a book, you have the knowledge to teach other people how to write and publish a book. If you have done that same thing, you could just start teaching a class on that, right? So, like I said, we talk about all of this in there. There's so many ways to make money. So you can go to the site and you can sign up and start taking a class right now. There's one to teach you how to do a CBD site, and there's another one to teach you like 7 ways to make money online. There are a million of them. So what I would say to you as a solution, again, you don't have to take my class. I mean, the people in the chat will tell you they done took it. A lot of them got businesses going. The class is great. A lot of information. It's all up to you to do something with it once you get it. But you could go to somebody else's class. It don't have to be mine. This is about solutions. And I really want you to hear me when I tell you that the best thing you can do right now to prepare for all of you that think your job will be in jeopardy, learn how to go make some money online. Drop shipping, print on demand. You don't know what those things are, and you should probably go take a class for somebody to tell you that stuff. But when this second wave hits, there's going to be an uptake in online services. I want you to know this is a fact. This is not my opinion. When COVID locked everybody down the first time, people who had online businesses, their money went up like this. I was maintaining a good, here and there, $80,000 a year, which ain't bad when you're working for yourself. And I'm not putting all the effort in. I was able to sit at home and I put all the effort into putting my classes together and put all of the stuff that I was putting on the back burner in my business. And I would tell you that in a matter of like 6 months, I made $250,000 in the pandemic. While everybody else was stressing, I was not. And that's because you saw the uptake. If anybody was an online business owner of anything that you do, tell me I'm not lying, y'all. What happened was everybody was at home. So they were looking for services. They were looking for things they could do online. And people were spending money. That is a statistical fact. Online sales on anything skyrocketed. And everybody is finna go back home again. But this is going to be the natural way of doing things. Online is the way they want you to have services. All of those filters that women put on their face and shit like that, it's like the Jetsons. You're going to go on a website to put on makeup, and you're going to be able to put the filter on it. You're going to see what the makeup look like on you sisters before you buy it. You want to put on an outfit? There will be no more department stores and trying shit on in the dressing room. You can try it on at home. Just like that workout mirror they got. I guarantee you it's going to be some kind of mirror you can stand in front of that's electronic, and you can pick the outfit you want from Fashion Nova, and they're going to put that shit on your body as a fucking filter, and you can see if you like it or not before you buy it. I swear to God, this is what's going to happen. So for all of y'all think I'm playing when it happened, y'all just email me and apologize for all that shit. Y'all talking in your head right now. This is where we're going, y'all. So do yourself a favor and learn how to make some money online. It is too much money to be made. Now, let me state this right, though. It's not easy as 1, 2, 3 because it's a job like anything else. So you need to take it serious. But I will tell you that it is the easiest way for people who have not had an opportunity to start a regular business. If you can't get no loan, you can't get no brick and mortar building, and running the business and getting employees seems so far-fetched in your life because it was too hard because you needed all this money to get started. Online has taken that away. So when you compare the typical brick and mortar business that we used to have to try and run and all the obstacles you run into with all the licensing, all of the zoning, all of the stuff going on in your building, all of the fire, everything, all your employees, all your stuff you got to write up. When you compare it to that, online has made starting a business easier than it has ever been. But it still works. So I hope you heard what I said. It's easier than it's ever been when you compare that, but that don't mean it ain't some work because some of y'all don't want to take the time to do the work. That's on y'all. But it's tons of money to be made out here online. I promise you it is. So please find a way to do that so you don't have to jeopardize yourself and you don't have to say, I got to take this shot or I ain't going to have no job and my livelihood is at stake. Don't put yourself in that position where you got to make that choice. Learn how to make some money and learn how to tell your employer fucking bye. Because nobody gets to tell me that I have to take that vaccination. My kids do not have to take it because they don't go to school. My children are homeschooled. I don't work for anybody but myself. I do not have to take that vaccination. And I will order my groceries the fuck online and I will be fine. I don't go out to the club any damn way. Not to say that it's right because this is America. We should be able to go wherever the fuck we want to go and not be held captive. I want y'all to know that this is slavery. This is not fucking freedom. It's not. Shout out to Q Butter in the house. We were just talking about Zayas Institute in the house. That's Q Butter right there. Y'all click his name. Y'all go follow his page and y'all go check out the school, everybody. So with that said, those are my solutions to you to get ready. But there is a part of this, I'm going to be honest with you, that no matter what you do to prepare for it, that's all you can do is prepare because some things we ain't going to be able to change, y'all. Because for as much as I said, I'm going to say one last time, that if it was ever time to get up and rebel against this government, it would be right the fuck now because nothing is ever going to be the same. But I know we're not going to do that. I just don't believe that we are. So prepare yourself for what's coming, please. And I'm just asking you that for your own livelihood and your children, because again, the Black community is always the first to be affected by these things. And we're the last to ever be prepared. And that's why we're the first affected. So go and be prepared. Everything that I said tonight, you can go and look that shit up and you can go and see for yourself that it all exists. Right? None of this stuff is hiding. It is in plain sight in your face if you go and you look at it. So I just want to give y'all something to think about of what was happening. Again, you guys, I'll be back. And I mean, if you want to follow me, I'm not going completely silent. I have a lot of stuff to work on, even with the Black agenda and just how we're going to maneuver with everything that's going on right now. I have a lot that I have to do and I have to prepare my family for the things that are going on. And so I'm not going to be here on YouTube for at least 30 days. And then I'll be back once I get everything kind of situated and all my projects done. I just have a lot going on. So I just wanted to let y'all know I wasn't going to be here. Normally I just disappear and I don't say shit. So I want to let y'all know this time why. But I will be back. If you want to follow me on Instagram at Mechee, ain't no underscores or nothing. It's just at Mechee. You guys can go over there and follow me there. I will be posting things. You may catch me a quick video or a live here and there just to shoot the shit and talk to some people. But as far as, doing shows and bringing knowledge and structure and the things that I have to give y'all, a lot of this is in my repertoire. I know this stuff, but at the same time, I know y'all might not think so, but I prepare for my shows. So I have to put work into them. And right now I just need to sit everything down, make sure that my family is good and finish some of these projects that I have. And so I just don't have the time to focus on preparing videos and bringing y'all knowledge and doing those different things. And so I'm going to put some time into the work. But I promise you, when I come back, I have plenty for the Black community. I will have plenty of announcements, great things that will be happening, and the Black agenda will be one of them. Because regardless of what they do, unless they say we got to all go in the house, we're going to keep it moving. Even if they tell us we can't fly, then guess what? The Black agenda will be driving to a hood near you. But it's time to get back to work. Even if we have to alter it and do some things online, but it's time to get busy. And we may have to transfer it that way. But whatever we're going to do, we're going to figure it out. And we're going to let you know what's up when I come back. So I just have some things to work on. So thank y'all for that. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all just like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not, because I will be back. If you want the video, come on and take it, because I'm going to take the video down. It might be down by tomorrow morning. As long as you might see this tomorrow night, I will not keep it up, because all they're going to do is come along and take it down any damn way, and then it'll be gone. So, I don't care if y'all take the video and people want to use it. I don't have a problem with y'all using my content. So I'll just say that again. So with that said, y'all, go get yourselves ready. Please, I hope that you take what I say very seriously. Somebody said, when is Ozone's court date? I don't know when Ozone's court date is. I haven't been paying attention. I know I think they did a marathon or something the other day for like a 24-hour to raise some more money, because they have found I would tell you this, they have found a law firm that has no losses. They don't even take cases unless they feel they can win them. And they said they think they could win Ozone's case, but of course their fee is much more than the original 30,000. So I mean, it is a legit legal team. They have spoken with him, so they are willing to take his case, but they are charging more, and that is just the truth. Let me say that too. If you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, because I will be interviewing Ozone's mother. Things got hectic and got tied up, but me and her were supposed to do that anyway. But as a mother who has a child in prison, she's still a mama, no matter how old her child is. And so I just want her to be able to speak. She wants to talk. And so I would definitely be setting that up, but that will be on Instagram, probably not over here. If I do it on Instagram, I might upload it over here, you guys. So again, if y'all want to catch that, then you can follow me on Instagram. So you will see me at least doing that. I gave her my word. I gave Ozone my word I would. So in spite of my little break, I am going to keep my word in that and allow Ozone's mother to speak and do an interview, you guys. So somebody said that the target is 150,000. So yeah, I watched us give that to so many other things. So I hope we'll make it. I've been giving. I'm gonna keep giving. If y'all can, y'all keep donating, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I can. So with that said, y'all go get ready for what's coming. Y'all be prepared. Go take care of yourself. Go take care of your household. Take care of your mind. I know this shit sound crazy, but it's not. And just because you deny it don't mean it ain't real. And I'd rather have you be prepared than not be. Okay. So with that said, the moderators put the links in there, but again, they're in the description of this video. Ziax Institute for the schooling. You can go over to the realmecheex.com for the classes over there or the survival stuff, or you can go straight to preparewithmecheex.com for the survival stuff. Okay, you guys. So I will see the rest of y'all through post or whatever in the comment section over on Instagram. Other than that, YouTube, I'm not gonna see you guys for about 30 days, okay? But I will be back. So don't forget about me, y'all, because I'll be back. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Like this video, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I'll talk to y'all later.